Hello and a very warm welcome to the brand new edition of the Question Hour show from the Parliament House complex, the only show where we bring you important, unstarred or written questions asked by the members of the upper house during the ongoing budget session of Parliament and the response given by various ministries and departments. I'm Kriti Mishra and joining me is my colleague Rajat Kain.
Thanks Kriti and thanks to our viewers for watching Question Hour. Let's begin the show.
And the first question in this edition is from member Kamakya Prasad Tasha, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. And the member has asked the government about the quantity of oil produced by ONGC in Assam, the quantity of oil produced by Oil India in Assam, and also the details of oil fields which are privatized in Assam.
Giving a detailed response, the ministry said the government offered petroleum mining lease of small and medium-sized and discovered fields, proven reserves discovered by ONGC and oil to the private sector in August 1992 and October 1993. In 93, the government invited bids under international competitive bidding for development of various medium and small-sized oil and gas fields across India, including the state of Assam. Now, 28 contracts were signed by the government for 29 pre-NELP discovered fields, including one in Assam. Well, a PSC for Amguri field in Assam was signed on 23rd February 2001 for 25 years between Union of India, Assam Company Limited and Joshi Technologies International Incorporation, USA. Many marginal fields discovered by national oil companies and other private companies could not develop due to factors such as size of reserves, oil price over the project life, development cost, availability of technology, fiscal regime and overall risk assessment by the operators. Now, for early monetization of these unmonetized discoveries of national oil companies discovered small oil fields, policy was launched on 25th May 2016. 13 contracts area located in state of Assam has been awarded to contractors through 2 ICBs, that is International Competitive Bidding, so far carried out under DSF policy. Out of 13 contract areas, 11 have been awarded to two private operators and 1 to consortium of public sector undertaking and private company and 1 to PSU on standalone basis.
In fact, member Kamakya Prasad Tasha joined us on the Question Hour show, and this is what he had to say on government's response to his question. Listen in. And joining us on the Question Hour show is Rajya Sabha MP and questioner Mr. Kamakya Prasad Tasha. Sir, welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You asked a very pertinent question about oil fields in Assam.
Yes.
What is the issue and what is your take on government's response?
मैं जो सवाल किया था एक्चुअली ऑयल फील्ड में जो ऑयल फील्ड्स है बेसिकली इट इज़ ओन बाय द नेशनल ऑयल कंपनीज लाइक ONGC एंड ऑयल और ऑयल असम का आदमी चाहता है क्या ऑयल ONGC और ऑयल का हाथ में रहना चाहिए. तो आई हैव आस्क्ड देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ कंट्रोवर्सीज इन असम that government is going to privatize this oil companies, oil fields. उसीलिए मैं पूछा था क्या कितना हुआ है. गवर्नमेंट ने एक जवाब तो दिया, ऐसा बात नहीं है क्या ऑयल नेशनल ऑयल कंपनी का हाथ में ही रहना चाहिए. जो ऑयल कंपनी नेशनल ऑयल कंपनी लाइक ONGC एंड ऑयल एक्सट्रैक्ट नहीं कर सकता, एक्सप्लोर नहीं कर सकता, वो प्राइवेट ऑयल कंपनी कर रहा है. इसमें हम लोग का कोई आपत्ति नहीं है. मेन इश्यूज़ है अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रॉब्लम्स जो है उसको थोड़ा देखना चाहिए प्राइवेट ऑयल कंपनीज. They should address the problems of the unemployed youths who have trained in ITIs and other technical institutes. So मेरा यही सवाल था. मैं यही कुछ पूछा था क्या प्राइवेट ऑयल कंपनी को तो हम लोग बोल सकेंगे. दो आई एम इन कंसल्टेटिव कमिटी ऑफ ऑयल एंड नेचुरल गैस इन पार्लियामेंट रिप्रेजेंटिंग राज्य सभा. सो मेरा बात ये था क्या जैसे अब धीरे धीरे आसाम का जो ऑयल प्रोडक्शन धीरे धीरे कम हो रहा है. बहुत पुराना ऑयल फील्ड्स है. क्यों आप जानते हैं पहले ऑयल आविष्कार हुआ था वो दिग्बोई में. ऐसे दिग्बोई जो ऑयल फील्ड है वो इट इज़ ए ओल्डेस्ट ऑयल फील्ड इन आई थिंक इन दी वर्ल्ड. सो आदमी का ऐसा मानना है ऑयल हम लोग का एक इशूज़ है, ये आवेगिक इशू भी है. आदमी लोग बोलते हैं कि ऑयल असम से है लेकिन असम में ऑयल क्यों प्रोडक्शन कम है. धीरे धीरे इन लोग का जो ONGC एंड ऑयल इंडिया, इन लोग का ऑयल इंडिया से ONGC का प्रोडक्टिविटी कम हो रहा है. I think it is not more than 0.9 MMPT. It has not crossed 1 MMPT also. So we have requested government to explore oil and ONGC को भी बोल रहा हूँ. ONGC जितना परफॉर्मेंस दिखाना था उतना परफॉर्मेंस दिखा नहीं पा रहा है मेरे को लगता है.
सरकार से क्या डिमांड है आगे आपकी?
सरकार जो है हम लोग का ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी एश्योर किया है एंड ही इज ए बहुत कैपेसिटी, ही हैव गॉट कैपेसिटी टू implement what he speaks So we request that this national oil company should come out. उन लोग को जो कैपेसिटी है उसको बढ़ाना चाहिए और प्राइवेट ऑयल कंपनी को जा रहा है वो तो कोई बात भी नहीं है, लेकिन ऑयल इंडिया और ONC ऐसा कंपनी उसका कैपेसिटी बढ़ाने से आदमी लोग डिमांड करता है. एक्चुअली पीपल डिमांड्स दैट दे शुड एक्सप्लोर ऑयल एंड एक्सट्रैक्ट ऑयल फ्रॉम असम. आप जानते ही हैं कि मैं रिक्वेस्ट भी किया ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर से, नागालैंड में ऑयल एक्सप्लोर नहीं कर सकता, अरुणाचल में भी कम है, इसमें थोड़ा अदर इश्यूज है, वो इश्यूज़ में हम नहीं जाना चाहते हैं. लेकिन आसाम में जो ऑयल है प्राइवेट कंपनी हो या नेशनल कंपनी हो उसको एक्सप्लोर करना चाहिए और उसका CSR से हम लोग का डेवलपमेंट भी होना चाहिए. आवर डिमांड इज़ दैट CSR फंड शुड स्पेंड इन असम. 2 इंस्टीट्यूट किया है ऑनरेबल मोदी जी का गवर्नमेंट में. मोदी जी उसको इंटरेस्ट भी लिया था. ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी उसको सेटअप किया. राजीव गांधी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पेट्रोलियम इंस्टीट्यूट एंड सुपर स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल बाय ONGC, ये दोनों को वहाँ पर साकार किया है. भूमि पूजन भी हो गया है. ये हम लोग के लिए बहुत बड़ी खबर है और ये इंडिया गवर्नमेंट में ये एक अचीवमेंट है, उसको और ज़्यादा मजबूती बनाया जाए, ये मेरा डिमांड है.
All right, on that note, thank you so much for talking to us.
Well, moving on to next question that was asked by member K. Soma Prasad from Ministry of Home Affairs. The member asked whether government has initiated caste-based census for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe and OBCs across the country.
In the response, the ministry says that the intent of Government of India for conducting Census 2021 has been notified in Gazette of India on 28th of March 2019. The census schedule is designed in consultation with various stakeholders. In census, the castes, the tribes, which are specifically notified as scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, as per the presidential order under the Constitution Scheduled Caste Order 1950 and the Constitution Scheduled Tribes Order 1950 amended from time to time, are also enumerated. Let's move on to the next question that has been asked by member KK Ragesh, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Labour and Employment. And Mr. Ragesh has asked the government about the details and the targets set and achieved by the Ministry of Labour and Employment for generation of employment opportunities in India, whether private or agricultural sector.
For responding to the query, the ministry said vacancies in central government are caused due to retirement, resignation, death, promotion, and the post falling vacant are required to be filled as per recruitment rules by the concerned ministries, departments and the organizations. Filling up a vacant post in a continuous process depending on the vacancies arising across ministries or departments during the year and action calendar of the recruiting agency. Employment generation coupled with improving employability is a priority concern of the government. Government has taken steps for generating employment in country like encouraging private sector of economy, fast-tracking various projects involving substantial investment and increasing public expenditure on schemes like Prime Minister Employment Generation Program run by Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana that is run by Ministry of Rural Department, and Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihood Mission run by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Well, moving on, question was asked by member TG Venkatesh from Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, and member asked about the details of steps taken by the government to enhance exploration and production of crude oil in the country.
In the response, the government mentions several steps taken to enhance exploration and production of oil and gas in the country, which include policy for relaxations, extensions and clarifications under production sharing contract, for early monetization of hydrocarbon discoveries, discovered small field policy, hydrocarbon exploration and licensing policy, policy for early monetization of coal bed methane, setting up of national data repository, appraisal of unappraised areas in sedimentary basins, reassessment of hydrocarbon resources, policy framework to streamline the working of production, sharing contracts in pre-NELP and NELP blocks, policy to promote and incentivize enhanced recovery methods for oil and gas, policy framework for exploration and exploitation of unconventional hydrocarbons under existing production sharing contracts, coal bed methane contracts and also nomination fields. Let's move on to the last question of this edition of the Question Hour show, which has been asked by member R. Vethalingam, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Steel. And the member has asked the government whether domestic steel industry has been going through a tough period because of low demand, falling steel prices and also rising iron ore prices.
Well, the answer is in negative. However, The government said the price of steel have a downward trend during the current year due to overall trend in the steel market, but it has shown an increase from October 2019. The prices of iron ore depends on market dynamics and it fluctuated from time to time during the year. Auto and manufacturing demand is correlated to steel sector. The demand for steel has direct relation to demand in the auto sector. Now, last year, demand of steel for auto sector has decreased due to decrease in demand in automobile sector.
So that's all Rajat and I had for you in this edition of the Question Hour show. But on the other side, the Hindi version of the Question Hour show, Prashn Kal with our colleagues Arvind Singh and Kriti Singh. Please don't go anywhere.